Hi, I'm Jay Goldman, and you are watching Mr. Mobile on Butterscotch.com. Today we're going to take a look at a kind of interesting thing called OpenFeint, which lives inside of iPhone games. So you're not going to find the OpenFeint application looking in the iPhone App Store. What you are going to find is a whole bunch of games that have OpenFeint built into them. It's a bit of a strange name. It actually comes from the name of the software development company who makes it. Used to make a game called AuroraFeint, and they had built a bunch of community stuff into AuroraFeint, and then they decided to open that stuff up and make something called OpenFeint because it was open source, and so now we've got the name OpenFeint. You'll notice it in applications on the iPhone. Typically the games will have a small leaf-like icon overlapping their application icon. A bunch of them do. Or they'll mention it when you're going through the App Store, or you can actually just go on the OpenFeint website, and of course the link is in the show notes on butterscotch.com, and you can see all of the participating games that are there. So what is this thing? Well, I'm going to demonstrate it by taking a look in two applications on my iPhone. The first one's called Hook Champ, which is the latest game that I'm completely obsessed with and can't stop playing. It's made by Rocket Cat Games. And it's sort of like playing a cross between Indiana Jones and Spider-Man. So you play a little adventurer, you have to go through these giant tombs and collect idols and coins and stuff, but you do it by latching on with a rappelling hook on things and sort of swinging like Spider-Man. So it's got a bit of Spider-Man in it, a bit of Indiana Jones kind of adventuring, lots of fun. I recommend Hook Champ anyway, but we're going to take a look at the OpenFeint stuff. So when you open up Hook Champ for the first time, you'll see a screen right here that's got an OpenFeint button in the middle of it. Tapping on that actually brings up the OpenFeint interface. And now this lives entirely inside of the game that you're playing, and this always looks the same no matter which game you're in. And you start off actually seeing a list of things that are related to the game that you're in. So you can see the leaderboards. OpenFeint handles all the high scores and all that kind of thing, so you're comparing against all of your friends. You can see your achievements you've unlocked. If you're an Xbox gamer, this will be familiar. It's like unlocking achievements on an Xbox. So there are things in the game that will trigger a little green bar at the top of the screen that says you've just unlocked an achievement, and you can tap right in there to go and review them. You can issue challenges to your friends inside of the game. There's actually an entire forum system in here, so tapping on that will pop up a forum where you can go and see all kinds of things about different OpenFeint games, this particular game included. And there's a fan club. You can mark this as a favorite, and then you can see which ones of your friends are playing. So a big part of OpenFeint is actually connecting to your friends. And when you're setting this up for the first time, you'll want to go in and connect to either Twitter or Facebook to import a whole bunch of friends in one shot. I did the Facebook Connect myself. Very seamless. You just enter your Facebook username and password, and all of a sudden all of your Facebook friends are directly listed here. And once your friends are in, you can actually see what game they last played. You can see how many OpenFeint points they've earned with their achievements. You can tap on any one of those players and get a little profile about them. It'll tell you what games they've played. You can instant message with them. You can see which friends they've got, so you can obviously find friends of friends and that kind of thing. The last thing on here is the OpenFeint tab on the right side, and this is sort of where it gets kind of even more interesting. This has a whole bunch of featured games listed in it, so those are featured games that have OpenFeint in them. It's also got my friends' games, so I can see which games my friends are playing, and developer picks, and I can sort of get random games and stuff. The interesting thing about finding games through this is it's based on the games your friends are playing. So because a lot of games on the iPhone now include kind of a cooperative mode where you can play with your friends, there's a bunch of games, chess and that kind of thing where you play directly against them. Finding the games your friends are already playing is a great way to find things you can do that are more social on the iPhone platform. It's also a good way to find recommendations. There are lots of games in the App Store, and so one way to find good ones is to see what your friends are playing and then give those a try. So OpenFeint acts as a recommendation engine that lets you find good games that you can play. We got a very similar experience in almost all of them. I'm going to pop into Minigore, which is a game we've previously reviewed on Mr. Mobile. It's also a lot of fun. Minigore has changed quite a lot since we reviewed it. It's got a lot bigger. There are more characters you can play and that kind of thing. So I would recommend Minigore, another look at Minigore if you haven't looked at it in a while. When you open it up, you'll get a bar that appears at the bottom. In Hook Champ, it actually appears at the top. That's just acknowledging that you've logged in and telling you, great, you're logged back into your Jay Goldman account, although yours is probably not called Jay Goldman. And then on the Minigore screen, you'll see an OpenFeint button right here, and tapping on that brings up our very familiar interface, except I'm now in OpenFeint for Minigore. So the nice thing about it is the interface for OpenFeint doesn't change from game to game. Once you've gotten used to it, it'll be pretty much the same wherever you're going. I highly, highly recommend you take a look if you're a gamer on the iPhone. It takes the games that are already tons of fun and makes them even more fun because you can kind of play with your friends and challenge them and earn achievements and all that kind of stuff. Take a look on the OpenFeint website for a list of games that are enabled. You can click directly from there into the App Store to download and or buy them, and enjoy your gaming. I'm Jay Goldman. This has been Mr. Mobile on Butterscotch.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.